You ever read the book by Cal Newport, So Good They Can't Ignore You?
No, I have not read that one. I'll add it to the list.
It's an amazing book. I'm going to give it away. I'm going to go in the punchline, but still read the book. It's awesome. The real passion comes from excelling at things and from becoming a master at something. It looks like passion to the rest of us. You can pick that thing, cold calling, door knocking, internet lead gen, fill in the blank, and you can just get so good at it that you'll actually become passionate about it because of how good you are. Once you become so good at it, it's like you get to the top of this mountain and then the person over here who's killing it with video, they recognize you're at the top of your mountain, they're at the top of their mountain. All of a sudden, they want to have conversations with you because you can help each other. And so it opens up more doors for you. Just finding that thing that you can be great at, and the way you're great at it is you're willing to do it over and over again ad nauseum. And I went from the guy that if I knew there was other agents that got the same lead or referral that I did, that I wanted to be the first one to be interviewed or the last one because I thought I could get them to like me enough to hire me, to I wanted to go first so I could have them sign and I got to cancel their other listing appointments. That's how good I got, because I realized, oh, this is just an at-bat thing. I need to sharpen some skills. I started calling my friends. I called other people who I thought were good real estate listing agents. And I was just like, please tell me how you do it.
Yeah.
And I just learned scripts and skills and you name it. And I got so good that I couldn't be ignored.
I think a lot of what people miss in this internet age that we're in right now, in the TikTokification, is this idea that there's like a shortcut and that joy and passion and professionalism is immediate. When really what happens is the man who is lost finds himself on that journey. And he finds the extra passion, the extra joy, the extra purpose while experiencing the hardship, while doing the reps, while being on the journey. Instead of, if you buy my course for $7.99, you will instantly be worth $10 billion and get there without the struggle.
Yeah, dude. 100%.
Both of us are on a semi-parallel journey here, right? So we're both creating content. And then this idea of creating content, what we have to do as leaders and individuals is we're learning a new skill set. We're learning a new thing. We're learning to take our communication, to summarize it and get to the point quicker, but also be able to convey that point to multiple audiences. See, one of the things in the past that I've done is, even when it's been a one-to-many situation, that one-to-many situation is almost always to the same audience. So I haven't had to tailor anything broad and I haven't had to summarize it. I could be niche or specialized because the audience was clearly defined for me. As we're playing these content games, the audience is not as clearly defined. And the net is literally all of a sudden the blue ocean. I love it because we're having to work on this skill set. What I want you to talk about for a second, Kevin, is because you've been doing this. What are you seeing that you have to change there? What would you tell other business owners that they need to know about content or public speaking and getting their ideas and their thoughts across? Because over the timeline that I've known you, I've seen you develop into a phenomenal, and you were good to begin with, so don't discount this in any way, but you've become a phenomenal communicator. So how would we do that for content, or how would we do that for our leadership?
When I think of it from the leadership standpoint, kind of goes back to the community thing too. There's a lot of community in leadership and helping people be connected. I think another key thing about leadership is this is so boring, but like, you got to be able to deliver the same message over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. And Kenny says it best, which is like, you don't drop your kid off at kindergarten and then pick them up on the last day of high school, right? Yeah. They come home every day and then you talk about what they learned about and you talk about assignments and stuff like that, right? You constantly have these conversations. And yet with people we lead, we tend to treat them like we drop them off at kindergarten. And then we're kind of annoyed the next day when they haven't graduated high school because they need to hear the same thing again. And they need to learn the same lesson again or a different version of the lesson. And so understanding the way people work, I think the best thing I've done is learn what makes people tick, what makes humans tick. Like human psychology and behavior is probably one of my favorite topics to learn about over the last 3 to 4 years, why we do what we do and why we say what we do. Combining that with curiosity has been, I think, the thing. I think understanding people and their behavior and not judging them necessarily for their behavior. A lot of times we should judge people for behavior, so don't get me wrong. However, probably a lot more giving when someone makes a mistake than most people. I'm way more interested in how you respond to that mistake than I am about the mistake itself.
On your content journey, public speaking journey, what have you learned that people, whether in real estate or outside of real estate, they should know specifically? Like, this is something that's caused me to grow because I've watched you grow, for over a decade, right? How do we help other people grow? What should they know that you learned from this journey?
I mean, dude, I started teaching classes less than a year into real estate. So there are some people that are just not afraid to get up there. And if you are somewhat intelligent and humble enough to take feedback, you can just get there through repetition. Other people might need more of a detailed plan. Then there's the best of both worlds, which is I'm not afraid to go up and make a mistake. I'm really not afraid to look dumb. And also I'm willing to learn and ask and try to grow. And so combination of being willing to do the reps, being willing to practice, and then being willing to learn, maybe even to a certain level, be held accountable to that, which is kind of like the same recipe for succeeding in anything. Willing to learn, willing to practice, willing to do it, right? To speak, to tell the stories, to create the content, to make the phone calls, being willing to be held accountable, whether that's just to yourself and the results that you produce and actually be honest about it, or maybe that's with like a coach, an accountability buddy or something like that.